Traditions allow us to make memories that will last forever, but sometimes these traditions can come to an end. My family had a long-standing tradition of traveling up to Lake Tahoe every summer. The tradition had been going on since the 60s, and it was so much fun. My grandparents rented a cabin 2 to 3 weeks out of the year, and every time we went up, we made sure to do two things: catch lizards and swim in the lake. The tradition all started with my grandparents. They made their first trip up to Rubicon Bay, Lake Tahoe in 1969. At the time, there was 5 in the family: my grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, and dad. And as the family grew, kids had kids, and that's when I come into the picture. My grandparents would rent the same cabin for the 2 to 3 weeks in the summer, and all the different families would go up at different times, often overlapping, and it was a great way to spend time with family we often wouldn't see for months at a time. The first tradition we would do was one that our grandpa had with us grandkids, and that was, yes, catching lizards. So we would go for walks, equipped with our lizard-catching poles in hand, which were long sticks with floss tied at the end with a little loop. And on our walks, we would spot a lizard. We would creep up behind it, loop the little loop around its neck, and pull. And boom. It's not as bad as it, don't worry. We had our new best friends. I would walk my lizards, I would name them. I definitely got way too attached to them because at the end of the day, when my parents told me I had to let them go back into the wilderness, I got really emotional. But don't worry, no lizards were ever harmed in this process. Compared to the last tradition, the next one is seemingly simple. My family would all walk down to the beach every day and we would swim. But my dad and I had a special way we liked to swim. We would get in our tubes, and I would hold on to his foot, as you can see, and he would pull me around. One, this protected me from the inky blue, which was my aunt's term for the super deep, dark part of Lake Tahoe that I was horrified of drifting out into. And 2, my dad could pull me around if I told him to go faster or slower and kind of swirl me around. It was like a roller coaster, and I totally loved it. When we weren't doing that, I was looking for crawdads under the pier. I was jumping off of a big raft in the bay or swimming rock to rock with my aunt in the freezing cold Tahoe blue water. These traditions are a part of my childhood that I'll hold on to forever. But eventually, this tradition had to come to an end. My grandparents decided that they were just too old to make the drive up to Tahoe every year, and of course we offered to drive them, and we did a couple times, but they decided it was best if our tradition came to an end. Not too long after, my grandfather passed away, and we knew Tahoe wouldn't be the same without him. So we've yet to go back up as a family. But this summer, the Bernards are hoping to make their first return trip back up to Tahoe since my grandfather passed away. Even though traditions can come to an end, the memories that we make with those traditions can live on in our hearts forever. Thanks.